How do fighter jets work? The question arises once we notice that commercial airplanes do not work the way we are told. I invite you to watch my video on the subject, how do airplane turbines really work? In this video, we're going to take a look at actual fighter jets. The fighter jets don't really have a big frame where you could probably put a turbine inside of. There's no turbines visible in any of the modern fighter jets. So how do they really fly? How do they generate speed, inertia, movement, work? And we're told that they're using fuel and turbines, which is complete nonsense. There's no space for the fuel that they would take. They would require to do pretty much anything. These planes have a top speed of upwards of 2,000, 2,500 miles per hour. So imagine how fast they're burning through fuel. If you have ever had a V8 or a sports car or anything of the sort, a big truck, you're gonna go through fuel like there's no tomorrow. Where's the fuel tanks? So how do they fly? How do they generate movement, speed, work? I'm gonna tell you the answer, but I'm also gonna tell you how I found the answer, which is more important. You can see here, you can see the answer right here. You can see them generating clouds because of all the energy, the speed they're going at, the electrostatic, dielectric, diamagnetic field they're generating. There's a lot going on here. The thing is this, the key to the truth, there's several keys to the truth to be used at the same time. There's space for the missiles, for the guns, for the flares, but there's no space for the fuel. There's several keys to the truth that you can use to great effect to find the answers to this question and any questions you have in life that you can ask God. The first one is to have a mindset where you tell yourself and you tell God, I'm ignorant, I don't know anything. You need to humble yourself. Remember, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. So show me, please, what they are telling me is a blatant lie, it's a complete lie, it's nonsense. This is all nonsense, garbage. There's two keys to the truth right there. Humility, always humility. No matter how much you think you know, you don't know. I don't know. I'm not digressing. I'm telling you my techniques, my keys. You're looking at these jet fighter airplanes flying. They're telling you one thing, but it is not compatible with what your observations are. So another key to the truth is your five senses. Your logic, your intellect, those are other keys to the truth. You know, what your eyes are telling you, what you know to be true. They're telling you they're using fuel, they're not using fuel. They're not using turbines of any sort. Okay, they're using something else. They must be using something else. So they're always lying. That's another key to the truth. They're always lying. So everything that you've ever learned is a lie. Everything is a lie. Let that sink into your conscious and your soul, which is your subconscious. There's really no subconscious. It's soul. Let it sink in. Everything is a lie. Almost like a mantra. I'm not better than anybody because I think I know something. I don't know anything. Once you're in that frame of mind, then you are opening yourself up to God's grace to then guide you and ask him, okay, God, tell me, what am I looking at here? How do these things move? How do these things fly? Will you please tell me? And in that state, then God shows you. And then you can use your intellect. Now you're open. And once you do that, you're also breaking the spell. Listen to me, please. You're breaking the spell of the devil and of whatever other spells are out there of this world, or even the veil that God sets. Then he's going to lift it. He's going to remove any spells, and then he's going to lift the veil that he himself set. Remember, God is the master magician, the supreme creator of everything, the source of everything. Remember that. Always keep that in mind. Once you get on your knees like that, internally and even physically, and you ask God, then he shows you. Then it's blatantly obvious, and you're like, wow, my gosh, you're blown away. How come I never realized it was so simple? And you can see it right here. Can you see it? Here, I'm going to show you some videos, and you're going to guess it before I say it. Please share and write in the comments if you did, honestly, of course, we can always lie, right? There's always that option. But do we choose the truth? Please share your experience while going through this. I would call it almost an exercise. And you're going to tell me in the comments, before I tell you what it really is, you're going to tell me how these things are moving. The Blackbird SR-71, very famous. I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie Firefox, based around this type of craft. Remember how they controlled it. That's also very interesting. Look at the tail. What is that? What is that? What is that? Tell me. There's no space for any fuel here. It would need like truckloads, tankers of fuel, over 40,000 pounds of fuel. Because this thing flies, like there's no tomorrow. It could probably, move across the entire USA in an hour, the entire Europe in an hour. Look, what is that? Look at that. Just ask your subconscious, your soul, your heart, your sixth sense, your fourth chakra. Ask the Akashic records that are written by God. Ask him what that thing is, and he's going to tell you. You probably already guessed it. Look at that. It's so simple, but we are just so deluded and so mind controlled, hypnotized, and under spells of all sorts. Something so simple eludes us. Look at that. What is that? What is that? Look at the air. What's happening? Look, 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 look. There's no exhaust here. There's no exhaust. Now let's look at the Concorde. Again, the Concorde was using the same type of system. Look at that. Look at that. What is that? What is that? Look right there. You can tell me there's no large enough fuel tanks to power this. Of course, there's air moving through it, okay? But what is this here? I'm going to tell you in a second, but you can probably already guess it, okay? And you can look at other such aircraft, fighter aircraft. Look at this one. What is that? What did that look like? Now, this beautiful shot here of the F-22 Raptor fighter. Look at that. No fuel. It's generating clouds, actually. Look at the air. You can see the air is beating. Of course, the air is heated. But it's a lot more than that. What's providing all the thrust? Okay. You see some kind of flame. What kind of flame is that? Again, what does it look like? So that's a huge key to the truth. That's how I found out about the alleged asteroid hole in Arizona, which is a giant tree stump hole. Check out that video on that. So you look at things and what does it look like? What could it possibly be? There's no fuel, so what could it be that's making this kind of a flame, fuel-less flame, if you will, and it's providing so much energy and thrust? And so we find the answer. We have, ladies and gentlemen, we have a microwave plasma torch, a microwave plasma flame. That is exactly what is powering these types of fast-moving aircraft, airplanes, fighter jets of all sorts. It is a microwave plasma torch. Microwave plasma is an energy emanation of crystals. Again, this is all crystal magic. The elites know it and they put it to good use, while us peons, the sheeple, have no idea what's going on.
You can also put on the negative one as well, and it creates the same effect.
And look, this guy actually does an experiment, and it's pretty insightful. His explanations are completely wrong, but he's really smart. So let's look at what he shows us in the way of the experiment, not the explanation, because the explanation's not right.
And what that means is if we can create a plane that has an onboard power supply that can generate this high voltage, all you need is the pointy end pointing away from the direction you want to go. It will create this neutral wind that moves this way.
So they're electric. All the fighter planes are electric, basically. They're electric. Electric, electric, electric. They're all electric. Electric. That was a painting. Electric. Electric. These are what are referred to in science fiction circles as ion thrust engines. But there's no ions, it's all crystals, crystal magic, crystals in the air that are being. Remember, ions are another keyword for energized crystals.
And pushes the aircraft this way. But this is just to connect it to the power supply. There's nothing on the power supply that's going to make these spin. The spinning is going to come completely from the thrust at the back of the plane here. Okay, here we go. Let's turn on our power supply. 3, 2, 1. There it goes. Whoa.
You see that? That's exactly how they work. That's exactly how fighter airplanes work. And then he goes on to show in a vacuum that it stops working. It stops spinning. Look.
Oh. And it stopped. Okay, so we're in a full vacuum now, and it's not able to propel itself forward using the ionic thrust. So you can see without air, it can't push itself forward because the thrust is actually coming from the ions hitting the neutral air. When there's no neutral air there, it can't push itself forward.
That's not how it's working, but yeah, the thing is this: if there's no crystals, there's pretty much no magic in the air, all pun intended. So no crystals, no magic, period. All right? There's no electricity, there's no plasma if there are no crystals. There's no propulsion, period. So it won't work in a vacuum, a fake space. And that is exactly how jet fighters are moving. And there's actually literature on this. You can find this paper in this, here's the website. Look it up yourself, jet propulsion by microwave air plasma in the atmosphere. And it's a couple of Chinese researchers, 3 of them actually. They actually exposed the whole thing. It was written in 2020, a little bit late if you ask me, since this technology has been out for over 50, 70 years. So here's the actual layout. There's absolutely no fuel needed. It's basically a flying microwave. Okay, so that's what airplanes, these jet fighters are, flying microwaves. But they have pretty nasty payloads. So there's the difference, or maybe not. Magnetron, AC power supply, plasma torch. Simple as that. And they actually propelled steel balls, and they did a whole bunch of experiments. They were criticized by academia, comments and going back and forth and blah, blah, blah. Look here. They admit it. They have to admit it because otherwise they can't make it work. Look, jet propulsion by microwave air plasma in the atmosphere. Crystalline nanoparticles synthesis using microwaves vaporization of metallic wires. Ta-da! They just gave you the truth. It's really hidden, but it's there for you to find it. Okay? You just got to do the work and use the keys. Now they're saying it's futuristic, and they're trying to sell it to you like, oh, this is technology that's coming, where we've had this technology for over 50 years. Now, I'm going to go into why we created this technology. We didn't create it, we actually copied it, like pretty much anything. Oh, just a few things. On the SR-71, top speed over 2,000 miles per hour. How far can that get you? That could get you across the US in an hour. The Concorde could get you across the US probably in less than 2 hours, which they grounded. Why did they ground it? Well, it kind of coincided with the launching of, cell phone technology. So they didn't want people exposing some things. They didn't want us traveling too far. And average planes fly, a lot less than that. When was JPL founded? In the 40s, the 50s. Jet Propulsion Lab. That's not actually why it's named JPL. It's named after Jack Parsons, which was a demon worshiper, friend of Disney and von Braun. First supersonic fighter jet, 1947 X-1, Chuck Yeager, Lots of people remember that. F-100 Super Saver in the 50s, and then from then on. But look at those dates, the 40s, the 50s. What happened before that? World War II. But what was the big event that happened at the culmination of World War II? It was Operation High Jump. Admiral Byrd encountering some UFOs or Bimanas on his way to Antarctica and getting his ass whooped. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Getting his butt handed to him, you know, and it's out there. Allegedly, in some Chilean newspaper, El Mercurio, said that they were attacked by flying machines of some sort, and they were, defeated in a matter of minutes. So you can read up on this, and I've always, read this information with some care because never know what's fake and what's not. But it's always just it's been very interesting to me, the Battle of Antarctica and how they were defeated, by just a few of these flying machines, and then right after that, they developed, the fighter jets. So that's pretty. That's quite a coincidence, if you ask me. That's quite a coincidence that you would, scramble to create NASA, to create, microwave plasma propulsion just after that happened. So that would lend credence to that story that that encounter actually took place. Not that the Vimanas or UFOs are from outer space. I think they're from Lemuria, and they were just telling the us humans here, who are under the rule of the devil, to not go any further because we're not welcome there, because they follow God there. They haven't stopped following him, even with the fall of the fallen angels, even with the rise of Atlantis. And I think those two civilizations were at odds. One was pre Atlantean, which were the Lemurians. And I'll do a lot of videos on these subjects. And, they were a Vedic civilization that spoke Sanskrit, that was founded by Shiva himself, Lord Christ, Yeshua. And I know this sounds crazy, but just look at the information I'm sharing with you. And look at the dates and how just coincidental everything fits in together. So that civilization is still there, and they don't not want anything to do with us because we are highly contaminated and corrupted. So what are we to do? We are to live our lives as Christ told us to. Love God above all things, and love each other as much as He has loved us. That's it. Okay, and open your eyes. The Shiva Sutras also tell us, in two shlokas, they say Janam Bandha, which is knowledge is bondage, knowledge is slavery, slavery is death, and then two verses after that, they say Janam Jagarat. So that means knowledge is waking up. So we need to wake up. We need to wake up now. We need to wake up from our spells, from our stupor, from our slumber, from our corruption, from our corrupted ways, and open our eyes to the vidya. Vid is the root word of video, vision, and Ya is another name for the Creator, for God. So we need to have that divine vision that can tell us things, and we can spot things everywhere around us. Okay? So, if you're highly intelligent, which I'm not, and you're an engineer of sorts, then you know how these things are propelled, and you can develop similar systems for whatever purpose, for a positive purpose. Why? With wisdom. Okay? So, guys, let me know what you think. Your support is highly appreciated. Comment, like, subscribe, share the information, download the information. And, I also have a Patreon, Keys to the Truth. Anything that you can do there is greatly appreciated. God bless you.